Good evening and welcome to Greatest Somerville for December 29th, 2014. I'm Joe Lynch.
And I'm KyAnn Anderson.
And we are here wishing you happy holidays from the confines of the lovely Scat TV Hot Set Studio.
Hi.
We're back together.
We are back together.
We're here.
We're here. You just gave it away, though. You said 29th, and tomorrow's the 30th. We're actually pre-recording.
I know.
Because we're busy for the New Year's Eve holiday.
We are busy. We've been busy all season.
We have.
Yep.
But we wanted to do a little holiday special, a little end-of-the-year review. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Did you have a good Christmas?
Thank you very much. Christmas, as usual, was hectic with the entire Lynch clan.
Yeah, you have a big family.
Very big family. Unfortunately, not all of us are together at the same time.
Yeah.
Because all 30 of us cannot fit in my house at the same time. But there were 16.
That's pretty good.
On
That's a fair
Christmas
number.
Eve. So we try to split it.
Did you cook the whole time?
I did.
Wow,
I did.
that's impressive.
We had a lovely cocktail couple of hours, and then I had prime rib and turkey and all the fixings that went with it. So Uncle Joe was a tired puppy by the time 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock came. But we had a beautiful, beautiful Christmas Eve and another beautiful Christmas Day. And looking forward, we were just talking about New Year's Eve. You're out of town.
I am.
Yep.
Yeah, New York City.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go to New York City and check things out.
But you told me you're not doing Times Square.
Oh, my God, no. I have no desire to do that.
Can you see you in Times Square?
No, sitting still in one location.
Trying to steal the microphone from Kathy Griffin and Anderson Cooper.
Oh, I'll take that from it. I'll be
Hi,
like,
I'm KyAnn.
I'll be like, I have a show in Somerville. Yeah, no, I'm not going to get anywhere close to Times Square.
No, that's a little madness.
Oh, my God, it's ridiculous. And for what? I mean, I don't need to celebrate the countdown with thousands of people.
You know, I have a niece by marriage who is from New York, and she said you wait for 5 hours.
Yeah.
For a countdown. Yeah. Of 30 seconds.
I know. And with all the security, it's just like you're sitting there and you can't have any liquids, whatever. And then it's like, what do you have to go to the bathroom? I mean, it's just a whole logistical nightmare. So, no, I'm just going to go down there.
Too messy for you.
It's too messy.
It's too messy. So, but 2014, we're going to talk a little bit about it.
Yeah.
Stuff that happened in the city, stuff that happened here on the show. And then we'll kind of go into 2015. Yeah. Hopefully with a great lineup.
Yeah. What do you think of the set here? It's so cozy.
New hot set.
We have our candle. I don't know if anyone can really smell it. It's wafting.
No, this is not smell-o-vision. They can't smell it.
I know. I'm
Can they see it? I think they can see it.
Well, no, we decided to do it's almond bark, peppermint bark. We have our scarves on.
Yep.
The little festive table there to try and.
I will say I'm very, very pleased with the design of the new hot set.
Thank you.
From somebody who came, almost 6 years ago, somebody who came from a hot set that looked like it was put together during, pre-communist era. I mean, half the control panel didn't work. The chairs had wobbly wheels on them. Sometimes we were a little embarrassed bringing guests in here, but this is very, very nice. Although I made a comment and you kind of... I said during the summertime, the white may have to be toned down because people tend to wear lighter colors.
We'll just have to tell people to wear contrasting colors.
It's
fine.
We'll tell everyone they have to wear orange.
Orange, yeah.
Orange.
Yeah, there's a bright scarf you
on. Aren't you glad I wore my red scarf tonight?
It's very festive. You were supposed to wear your holiday sweater.
I know, but over the years...
Who shows up in the holiday sweater that I absolutely can't stand? It's got a reindeer on it, and Joe bought it for me years ago, and it was our tradition, so I was like, I wore the damn thing to... Oh, excuse me, I wore it tonight.
It's what they call a bag job. I made you wear the sweater.
Well, I brought backup because I knew Joe might not deliver, and so I was like, forget that, so
I was tempted. I was that close to put the reindeer sweater on.
Do you have it?
I still do.
Oh, you do? Okay. Well, then,
I still do.
Remember when Oreo came on the show?
But we did the reindeer sweater
and Oreo
one year, and Oreo, your dog Oreo, came on and was mortified because you made him wear a reindeer helmet or something. And then one year we had the ugly sweater contest. This year we're a little bit more refined.
Well, we didn't have Santa Claus come in this year. We're a little late.
Santa Claus has disappointed us over the years because he's now so popular in Somerville that he doesn't have time to come visit Greatest Somerville.
Have you asked him?
No.
Santa?
No.
Okay. I was going to ask him.
We thought we had an exclusive with Santa.
I know. Whatever.
No, Santa does a lot of stuff in Somerville.
He's very busy.
Congratulations, Santa. I saw pictures of him at the Council on Aging, at the various city events.
And his beautiful little girl.
With kids. Santa has a beautiful little girl
Yes,
this year.
he does.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
And their first Christmas together.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
So 2014, before we, let's stay on the holiday theme for a minute. You and I also had the opportunity to do the trolley tour again this year.
We did.
We were the tour
Illuminations
guides.
tour. We were the tour guides for the 915 Trolley B.
That was fun.
That was fun.
That was fun.
We had some rowdy people on the bus, on the trolley. We didn't have a disco ball this year. But, you know, I think next year I'd prefer, if we do it again next year, I want to try West Somerville. Not to say that East Somerville isn't interesting. I actually recently went and did the tour again. I tried to find my way in my car. And I totally got lost. It was very funny. But most of the lights were up, and there were cars parked out front of it. And if for those of you who didn't get a chance to go to the Illuminations tour, up until I think probably New Year's, you should really check out if you can find a map and just drive around East and West Somerville.
People spend hours and hours and hours. I read an interesting thing about somebody down around Concord Square, outside of here in Union Square. Down around Concord Square, there's one person down there. They start putting that stuff up the day after Thanksgiving.
It's really a commitment. Like I was a friend of mine was like, he's like, where do you put all this stuff? And it's true. I mean, all these things have to go somewhere, and there aren't a lot of garages in Somerville. So I mean, some of these people must have really large basements that are dry.
The whole corner.
Did you get flooded?
No.
God, that was an awful storm.
No. Another
My sump
flood.
pump broke. Yeah, it's awful.
Well, they're doing something about that in the city. They still have the city has the Flood Forum Committee on the Board of Aldermen.
Mark Niedergang's on that. Yeah.
Niedergang is on it. That's right, Mark Niedergang.
I think that's going to be a very critical issue coming up in the development, because of all the developments going on, they need to consider that.
Well, you know, as you disturb, I don't want to get technical. As you disturb the earth below, you're changing the water patterns.
Absolutely.
And you're going to flood somebody else. So one man's dry cellar is going to be somebody else's.
But in terms of infrastructure, right, making sure that the capacities are such that they are anticipating what is going to be coming here in the next 5 years. I mean, those all need to be calced out. That's what I'm saying. And I know that they're doing the studies with the city. But anyway, we don't want to this is supposed to be light and happy.
We are going to be light and happy.
We are. But
Santa didn't have to deal with a flood. He had to deal with snow.
Well,
and luckily,
it's been 50 degrees.
And luckily, we haven't had any yet this year.
Because I get to cruise around in my car.
She dropped the hint twice. KyAnn bought a new car.
It's not new, it's used. Let me be responsible.
It's a new used car.
New used car. After having a 13-year-old car that I paid $1,500 for in 2001. It was high time.
I liked your old car. There was nothing more. The juxtaposition of you totally dressed up, going out for a night and getting into that car, that rust bucket car of yours, was just funny. It was a very funny sight.
It is. It's funny, but I've moved on up. So anyway,
well, congratulations on the new car.
Thank you. That was a little Christmas present to myself.
I know you've been saving your pennies for a while now.
Hey, I got it. I don't make money on this show. That's for
none of us do. But we have nice scarves.
We have nice scarves. So, what do you think the highlights 2014? I mean, good, bad, ugly. I mean, we can just talk about them.
I want to say it's going to be in my list. 2014 is still going to be known as the year of development. In the city.
Like that forever.
And I think it's going to be like that going forward for the next X number of years, because as people in the city who promote the city, it has become an extremely desirable place to live and to establish business.
It has.
So the more people you have who have disposable income, the more businesses want to come here to sell their goods.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't open up a boutique shop in the middle of the desert. You go where the people are.
But on rare
occasion, the more people that we're getting into the city with disposable income, the more business that will come.
But what I find interesting is that there are pockets of Somerville that have gone against the curve, and like, for example, Highland Kitchen. I mean, that was kind of plopped in the middle. I don't want to say in the middle of nowhere, but you know, in really a less than desirable.
But you know, that was always an eatery that had a great following.
Never to the success.
Oh, sure it did.
No.
When it was
the line out the door for the line out the door for brunch every Sunday. I mean, it's just. But my point is, you're right. For the most part, now every place you go is probably going to bring people, because there's a lot more people that are willing to spend. But yeah, the master developer getting selected for Union Square. Obviously, the acceleration of the Green Line in Union Square, the station.
Yep.
And Lechmere,
Yeah.
that's going to be 20
See, I think so much of it, KyAnn, has to do with speculation. The speculation, it's not so much what the city is doing, it's that precursor that, well, why is the city doing it? The city's doing it is because they have to prepare for when that green line comes. So
Yeah.
the worm on the end of the hook is the green line. It's saying
Carrot?
no, you don't put carrots on a hook. You put a worm on a hook. That's why I said the worm on the end of the hook. So, you know, they're out there and they're saying, well, Somerville is sexy. Somerville is the place to be.
Yeah.
Somerville's hip hop and happening. The developers just don't care if Somerville is hip hop and happening. What the developers care about is, have they got a customer base who's willing to plop down $600,000 for a one-bedroom condo?
That, yes, I do agree, but I think that also hip hop and happening, you can look at the types of developers that came to try and be the master developer Union Square.
Yeah.
And you can't tell me that it being a certain kind of trendy, really happening place didn't, I mean, some of those developers reflected that.
Oh, sure.
And I think that I mean, people do, anyway. I mean, people seek out projects. There's been a couple of projects in terms of developers that I don't think that maybe 10 years ago I would have seen the type of developers.
Right, I agree.
That we're
You
seeing
wouldn't
now.
have seen them here 10
So
years
that's
ago.
encouraging if they do quality stuff.
So 2014, I still think the top story is going to be the economic development of this city, in how City Hall needs to balance the new with preserving the old and the tradition and making it affordable. People who have been here 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years,
Yeah.
they're going to get priced out. And I think that's going to be the story going forward. All the new stuff I love.
Yeah.
I love, because remember, my mindset remembers Somerville of the 60s and 70s and 80s. I mean, we were shabby. You
Wait
know?
a minute, you were in the South End.
What?
When were you in the South End? You were not living here
No,
the
I
whole
was
time.
still here in the 60s and early 70s.
Okay, but in the 80s,
Right.
you when did you move out? 80s?
No, I went into the Air Force in 71.
Oh.
I went into the Air Force in 71. Then I came back to Boston in oh God. 71
Too much
through,
eggnog.
71 through 79 in the Air Force.
Yeah.
Then I came back to Boston in 82
Okay.
and continued school. Right. So I was in Back Bay, Beacon Hill from 82 through 90. And then through, I'm sorry, 89. And then the South End from 89 through 98, 97, 98.
And then you came back.
And then I came back
And then here we are.
with a little stop on Nantucket.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm back. I've watched it progress, and I'm seeing the exact same things that happened when I became kind of a pioneer in the South End. You know, I told this story once on the show before. My mother would not come to my very first apartment in the South End because it was on the other side of Copley Place. That's how dangerous an area it was, and it was still, you know, ragged around the edges. But as I watched developers come in and people with more money come in, gentrification took off over the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing the exact same thing happening here in Somerville.
Well, I'm hoping that the mayor, you know, he's got his initiatives in terms of the affordable housing and ways to try to, you know, I've heard, I haven't looked as much into it as I should, but in terms of giving landlords a break if they keep their rents at a certain level, which
the
I think
incentive,
is encouraging.
To give people incentive, to give property owners an incentive to make stuff affordable has always been there. But it's almost like the government puts their thumb on them and says you have to do certain things. Maybe that's the way that they're going to have to do it here in Somerville, and I don't want to bash Joe because he sent me a very nice Christmas card. So anyway,
nice.
you know, I suggested it. You and I worked on Maxwell's Green many, many years ago. We knew what was going to happen with that.
Yeah.
That was not going to be a bunch of affordable places for people to live. Now you have two-bedroom apartments down there, $4,300, $4,400 a month.
Yeah,
who can afford that?
Who can't afford that?
I see the cars coming out of there every morning. I tell you who can afford it. So, and they don't take the T. Those people drive their Beamers and their Mercedes and their Volvos out of there every morning.
Yeah.
Those are not middle-income folks. Those are very six-figure, high-end income folks. And they're only here for 2 to 3 years. They're renting the apartments now. Maybe someday when those flip into condos. You'll get more
they're supposed
families.
to be condos. So that community path, that's a big one. It's not open yet.
That's a big disappointment. I said it publicly. I mean, they interviewed me about it on Somerville Neighborhood News.
Disappointment in terms of schedule or aesthetic or what?
Schedule. Yeah. It's a path.
Yeah.
It's a path. You put down asphalt and you let people ride their bikes and run. What happened?
Yeah.
Spring, summer, fall. Cedar Street to Lowell Street. Didn't compute.
Yeah.
I knew they had to do the ramp.
The ramp.
But,
right.
you know, not my fault.
Yeah.
People have been working on it for years. The plan was there. I don't know who was managing it at City Hall, but I'm disappointed that they couldn't get it open in time.
I mean, people are still walking on it, even though they say that you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
I'm not, I'm not, the yellow is quite bright, but that's aesthetic.
Yeah. I think it's going to be fine in the spring.
Yeah.
In our neck of the woods, Lowell Street has gotten a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Because of the speed death trap that it is.
It is.
Yeah.
It still is.
You know, and I give kudos to Mark Niedergang because he stepped up to the plate. He took a lot of hits from, you know, people saying, you can't do that. We're used to Lowell Street a certain way. But he's projecting forward when you're going to have hundreds and possibly thousands of more people coming off that community path. Well, immediately, they're going to come off the path on bikes and walking and everything else. You got no crosswalks. There's no crosswalks, no signage that says pedestrians are here in the thousands. There's bicyclists coming all over the place. Whether you agree with, you know, the bike policy in the city or not, it doesn't make any difference. The bikes are here and they're going to stay here. You got to be careful. You have to provide for their safety.
Those chicanes now, those are the little things that kind of make you kind of swerve in and out.
Yeah, kind of useless.
Well, they're going to become permanent, so they're actually going to be, I mean, more
useful. Not if the DPW has anything to say about it. Do you know how difficult those things are for
They have them in Cambridge all over the place.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
They're
Who
not
works in
all
Cambridge?
over the place.
Yes, they do. They have them in a number of places.
Yeah, and
they're
I hate
introducing
them.
Well, I'm not saying that they're doing it for you. I'm just
like
saying
speed bumps.
That I don't speed bumps. I don't like.
I love them.
But the people that are right next to a speed bump, I wouldn't want to live there.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're
like
usually in intersections, aren't they? Not in somebody's backyard.
No. But on Lowell Street, there's a couple homes.
Yeah,
that
but
would
I'll
be
tell you
affected.
why I like them. You know, recently I've been traveling a lot back and forth between Cambridge and Somerville, and I have to go down. I think it's Oxford Street.
Yeah.
Where you come over the outside of Porter Square on Somerville Ave. You take that right over the commuter rail bridge, and instead of going to Beacon, you go straight ahead. I think that's Oxford Street, and that takes you directly into the back end of Harvard University at Cambridge Street.
Yeah.
And there are 2 speed tables there. I love them. It makes me slow down. There's plenty of signage that tells me it's coming.
The raised intersection or an actual speed bump? Like
raised intersection.
Because the speed bump and
Am I using the wrong terminology?
Yeah,
speed bump. Speed bump are the things that
just
they
the
have
little
in
ones.
Parking lots.
Yeah, and they absolutely won't do those at the DPW. Anyway, let's talk about something. The election was this year. That was a big thing.
We had a lot
of guests.
of folks on our election specials. Yep.
That was a big year.
And not a one of them won. That's an awful thing for me to say. But we had candidates for governor, lieutenant governor, treasurer.
Well, I wasn't on any of the episodes,
and
so I'm just putting that out there right now.
None of them won. So, you know, if you're thinking about running for office, you might not want to come on Greater Somerville.
Come back onto the new set.
No, but who knew?
The new schnazzy set. I know, right?
Who knew?
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. You were very busy.
You know, interestingly enough, in October, I did get a call from Charlie Baker's campaign, and they tried to schedule themselves just before the November election.
When you were busy, you were booked.
And we were jammed down here with Hot Set being redone and a lot of shows being taped in here, and we tried to accommodate them, but you know, that close to an election.
Yeah, you can't accommodate everybody.
You can't accommodate everybody, but we did. I mean, we had a lot of great people who came in. Hopefully the outgoing governor is going to make an appearance in January.
Exciting.
Well, excuse me, he will be the former governor at that point. So Patrick will come in and say his goodbyes to Scat TV. He's already appeared here once.
Yeah.
Wendy interviewed him. So we have more politics coming up in 2015, though, because the local elections.
Yes.
So we have Board of Aldermen, School Committee, and the mayor. Let's see if the mayor wants to come back on and announce his re-election.
You think so?
Yeah. He did it twice already. Yeah, he's come on to the show. So, Joe, you're invited. He knows he's invited anytime he wants to come.
So what things do you think we should do? 2015. I'm trying to think of like topics. I mean, we've got a few things.
I think Union Square is going to be the hottest.
I know it.
I think that's going to be a hotbed of activity.
Well, they've got a lot of these neighborhood plannings. I mean, I went to a community meeting last week, and they've got them. I mean, they had a postcard of all the dates of the community meetings. I mean, no disrespect to the city, but it's like, who the hell has? I mean, that's a lot of time to commit. And I'm one of the people that actually go to all those meetings, but it's really, they're trying to accelerate because things have to be here before that.
It's already happening. You know, it breaks my heart, and I've said it on the show before, it breaks my heart that one of the most beautiful structures in Union Square is now going to be demolished. And it's the old Coda Funeral Home.
Yeah, actually, I drove by there. It's
just the way it sits on that hill, and it had the sloping lawn. And, you know, that family that ran that funeral home meticulously took care of that. You know, it was a gorgeous old, going to be demolished. They've already got the backhoe and the.
You know what? I just saw that when I was driving over here. You know, it's interesting though. I mean, realistically though, who's
only to be replaced by more ugly architecture in this city.
But see that's a call to action for the city, for everybody, for the community to actually
How come you're
be
not
active.
on that design review committee? Why aren't you on that?
Okay, that's something we'll discuss that in 2015.
You know, I don't know who these architects that Joe picks to put on this design review committee, but some of them should really take a look at their architecture books. Because they honestly, KyAnn, I mean, I'm not back on the soapbox here, but some of them, the stuff that's being put up in the city is abysmal.
But I would say that there are some that are not my favorite, and the one thing I will say, if they're listening, let's stop with the beige.
Yeah.
Let's stop with the beige vinyl siding.
Right.
Let's just protocol always being looking at the surrounding buildings and what are the surrounding buildings and can it be slightly different? Because I swear Cedar Street is a beige, just a beige nightmare, and it's just like, and I specifically there's at the end of my street, and you know Peter Quinn, God bless him, he had to deal with me, but I just said, listen, please don't make it beige. Let's just make it something interesting and funky. But I agree. I think it is going to be a challenge, and that is going to be something that, you know, while they can't say make this a good design, there are a lot of designs, and I hate to say this, but in Cambridge, there's some decent looking, like, because they force them to kind of say, listen, no, go back to the drawing board. So, you know, the developers are here, they're coming. They want to be here, so let's really see how badly they want to be here by making them kind of adhere to some aesthetic, you know.
There you go, I rest my point. 2014 was about development. 2015 is going to be about development.
It's hard for me to shut up about that, though. I mean, because I just think.
And it's not just development. Along with development comes new business. And
well, there's some old ones that left.
The older
business that are leaving.
KyAnn Cupcake.
KyAnn Cupcakes, just.
There are no more.
They just left. And then the Italian store in Davis Square.
Yeah.
It changed ownership. That was a long-standing one.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering about Capone's.
I think Capone's is still here.
Well, no, it is still here. But again, like, you know, those are the businesses that I watch for because, you know, those are the people that have been here forever.
Right. And that's what I'm talking about, gentrification. You know, it is a double-edged sword. With anything where change and progress and money comes in and development comes in, people get left by the wayside. And I said it before. Joe Curtatone and the city of Somerville should have started to provide for more affordable housing back in 2007, 2008, 2009. They knew this day was coming.
Well, similar to that point, is it possible, or has it been done, and I apologize, I should know this, do the business owners, do they get incentivized, the people who lease the buildings, do they get incentivized to keep their lease prices lower? Because, as you know, in Davis Square, I mean, rent skyrocketed last time.
The answer is no. There is no incentive for the small business owner from the city to stay and keep their prices affordable. There is none. You know, that's free market capitalism.
Speaking of low prices, one of the highlights of 2014, I just realized it. We've got a couple minutes here. Market Basket. What a great story.
Kudos to Market
Basket. I don't shop there all that often because you just get stressed out when I go.
Yep.
But like the fact that everybody, the employee, everyone stood up to that and said, no, we're not going to take that. Like that's a victorious kind of ending.
You know, I said I was going to give a shout out to somebody tonight, and I'm going to do it. There's this poster on the Somerville Times website. Her name is Pixie Pocahontas, and I have to tell you, I totally enjoy reading some of the stuff that she writes.
Yeah.
Other stuff, I think, Pixie, you might want to lay it off because some of the stuff I can't follow. But, you know, she talks about life in Somerville as a long-term resident and the stuff that she sees happening in her neighborhood. I think it's a really unique view.
How long has she lived in Somerville?
I want to say it's over 35 years.
No, but she doesn't have a
40
blog. See,
years.
now if she had a blog,
no,
we
it's
could
not
plug
a
the blog.
blog.
But
It's,
okay.
You know, people, sometimes when they do that, they want to remain anonymous. You know, some of the blogs.
So you know what?
Some
though?
of the other
People
blogs.
No, but see, here's my problem with that. If someone has an opinion,
post your name.
Post your name.
Right.
Like that to me is just like Anyway.
I've always posted my name because you know I don't care what people say.
You're opinionated, yeah.
Well,
As
I
am
am
I.
opinionated, but.
So anyway, that's someone to watch. Somerville
to watch.
Beat. Always, I love Somerville Beat.
I love the Beat.
She's great.
Elise Andrews, happy holidays, kiddo.
Yeah.
You know, before we go, I do want to say one more thing, though.
Okay.
Before we go, and we want to wish everybody a Happy New Year from Greater Somerville.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year
I hope
from
everyone
your
had a good
family
holiday.
to your family,
Yes.
from my family to my family. And I want to wish a very special Happy New Year to my sister Mary, who is over in Cambridge, as you know, and I want to say one more thing about that. She's over in Cambridge at the Spalding Rehab, and she's in the unit for chemotherapy, dialysis, and bone marrow transplant folks. They have been absolutely spectacular to Mary. So we're going to have to buy them all
Yes.
scratch tickets.
Yeah.
We'll buy them all scratch tickets for a Happy New Year.
Those types of people, just, I mean, having had situations, some
I
of
don't know
that.
how they do it.
No, they are truly
Yeah.
the best human beings
Yep.
that are out there.
Yep.
And they come to work and they put smile on your face during times
Every
when
day.
you just can't. And they give you hope that it's things are awful, but they just continue to kind of do their job and
Yep.
care for people when
Yeah.
you just don't think it's possible for someone to be able to be that kind. And
I
I'm
think the
happy to
job
hear
they
that.
have done over the past month or so is absolutely brilliant, and I could never do it. So kudos to the folks at Spalding and Cambridge.
Well, I'm happy to hear that, and
Yep.
it's a
Yeah,
challenging
we're very
situation.
happy. She's comfortable. She's
Yep.
safe. That's
Yep.
my key.
Yep. So I think.
We're going to wish.
I think-
Well, how much more time have we
Well,
got?
maybe
You
got
have the
about
clicker.
30 seconds. I
Do we
think.
really?
We do.
Sign off.
Sign off. So thank you everyone for a wonderful year. 2015 has a lot more surprises. I'm looking forward to that. But at any rate, thank you for tuning into Greater Somerville tonight. And as always, stay safe.
And stay informed.
Good night, everyone.
Happy New Year.